What is up, my fellow mobile gamers? In today's video, we are going over the best champion cards for new players and also some gameplay tips or some gameplay strategies when you're going around the board. Like and subscribe for more amazing mobile gaming content. So first thing I want to do is go over the game area so we kind of have a better understanding. So the way this works is we have a bunch of different rankings. You have rookie, which everyone's going to start off with. This is the easiest area. It's the smallest game board. The ability to win is pretty simple. And then we go all the way up to the top, which is champion 3, where it gets slightly more complicated with a bigger board and more ways to win. Also, the entry fees, as you see at the bottom, will change. You're gonna unlock these higher level areas despite having maxed out trophies on certain ones. So my first tip is don't skip ahead. Try and focus mainly on going one by one and maxing out the trophies. So for instance, I have Pro 2 unlocked. So right now I could go ahead and I could enter Pro 2 as opposed to just going to Pro 1. But if I do that, I'm going to face opponents who are going to be kind of stronger than me. They may have more epic cards. I may face someone who's more pay to win or has progressed their account further than me. So you don't want to ever get ahead of yourself, especially because these higher ones have a bigger entry fee. You really don't want to start losing like 15,000 gold at a time or 50,000 gold or whatever it may be. There is one exception to this rule, and that is going to be if you have one of these entry fee tickets that pretty much completely wipes out your cost. If you do have one of those like I do, I got this from the roulette event that's going on, then you can go ahead and take a chance at doing one of these higher level ones. There is no way to not use your ticket, which I think is kind of stupid. It basically automatically uses your ticket for your next entry fee no matter where you play. So I don't like that. I would really like to be able to save my entry fee ticket to when I got to like one of these higher levels. All right, now let's go over the best character cards. And we're mostly going to focus on the blues and the greens right now for new players. I'll do like the epics and then the legendaries later on. The total cost for those beginning levels is going to be relatively low, so you're not going to be able to take really any epics. You don't want to get to a point where the total cost is like 6 and you decide to just use one epic card as opposed to using multiple blues or greens, which have a lower cost and aren't necessarily as strong, but you're going to be able to use more of them as opposed to just using one epic. So you really don't want to use any epic cards until you get to Pro level 2, and that's when the total cost goes up to 12. As you see, this is going to be my Pro 2 deck. So I have a 6 cost epic, and then I have a 3 cost, a 2 cost, and a 1 cost. So let's go over some of my favorite ones. We'll check this out, and I'll also go a breakdown of like the passives and everything else. This guy right here, Common Edward, swaps all your dice cards with your opponent. Now, I love this card, and I always have this in my lineup. I think this is a really good, amazing common card. There's a lot of times where you'll have cards showing, and they won't be any rolls that you really want. And they're kind of just like trash rolls, and just being able to swap your cards with your opponents is such a devastating roll. You not only have the potential to steal their good cards, but you're also giving them crap cards if you have some really bad ones, and you can really change the dynamic of the game. There was one match where I actually stole my opponent's cards. They had one that was a special card that was giving them marbles, and they didn't use it. So I actually stole that from them, and I was able to get marbles for basically free. Marbles is the in-game bucks that you use when you're playing the Monopoly game. So I absolutely love this card. I highly suggest new players, if you have this one, use it. I actually got it up to a rank 3. So these are passive, and they just are constantly going. So this one says toll increase for opponent 180,000. So every time our opponent has to pay a toll, it's going to be increased by 180,000. Now, as you level up your character, it's then going to increase this passive ability. So this number is going to increase every time we level them up. You also have the ability to change your passive, which would be like re-rolling to try and get a new passive. Now, the only way you can change or re-roll your passive is once you have a character card to 3 stars. So you need to promote it to 3 stars. If it's less than 3 stars, you will not have the option to re-roll your passive. And all you're gonna do is click where it says change, and then it is going to cost you 100 of those very, very important crystals. Now, if we take a look where it says the rate percentage, we can click this and it'll give us a complete breakdown of the chances and the different things that we can re-roll for. So we have our salary increase 1, this is a D tier, all the way up to the S tier, which is the best. And you'll see that when it is maxed out, it's going to increase it by 8 million. At level 1, it's 160,000 with a 0.003% chance to get this. The other thing that I'm gonna mention is the fact that I don't really think you should be re-rolling on your commons. Don't waste your crystals trying to re-roll these commons because you also only have 2 passive abilities, whereas the epic cards, if we take a look at an epic, they have 4 passive abilities. Next character I'm gonna mention is this guy right here. Now he is in the battle pass, which is $5. If you do have the $5 and you can spend it, I highly suggest you go ahead and buy the battle pass. I bought it, and this character right here is amazing. It's a rare. You're going to get a bunch of his puzzle pieces so that you can go and keep promoting him as you increase your battle pass level, and he's just so good. You're getting 3 different passives, grants your salary with a random 1 to 6 times multiplier. You basically just get free marbles and you'll just see the little spinny wheel go, and it's so valuable. Anytime you're able to get marbles in the game, it's so important, because a lot of times you're going to burn through those marbles very, very fast. Next up, we have another 4. This is a rare, creates a 12 pipe double dice card. So what this means is a dice card that always rolls a double. So basically it's a 12 every time. So I really do like this. It is a very, very high cost though, but it's going to give you an additional turn, and then it's going to move you the maximum amount, which is really strong. So I do like this card as an option. The other thing that I want to mention for gameplay is you pretty much always want to try and get 2 doubles, so that way you get the maximum amount of turns. 3 doubles will send you to jail, and then you got to pay to get out or roll the dice. So you always want to try and get doubles at least twice. You want to extend your turn as long as possible. Next up we have is Estelle. Installs an ice floor on the block of your choice. So what ice floor means is when you arrive on the ice floor block, you'll slide to the next block. This one again is pretty decent. It kind of sets you up to get an additional slide. This one I like because it manipulates the field a lot more. So maybe your dice roll is a 5 and you need a 6. This gives you that opportunity to really extend your gameplay and get to the blocks that you want. So I think Estelle is definitely an amazing one. Another one that I would highly suggest new players play. Next up we have is another rare, grants you an angel card. So an angel card can either be used to nullify the toll when you arrive in an opponent's area or to block an opponent's attack. Now you won't need to really worry about blocking an opponent's attack until you get to those higher levels. Most players won't even be able to use a character card that gives them a chance to attack you. So that's pretty much useless for there. This is a card that I say isn't that great for new players, but it's definitely more advantageable once you get to those higher levels. Grants you a marbles dice card that grants a number of marbles equal to 10% of your salary times the number of moved blocks. This one is a really good one. It's not as good as this character right here, which is a cost of 3 and he's a rare, but it's a cost 2 common and it still gives you a decent amount of marbles. Next we have is Dennis, gives you a random even numbered dice card. This is a really good card for trying to increase your odds to get a double. Common, this is Sunny. It's going to teleport you to a random block. So this is, this is RNG at its best. This isn't really good and it's not really bad. It's literally just pure luck. You can use this card and you may land on an amazing spot that helps you win, or you may land on a really bad spot that causes you to lose. This is one that I can't really say is good or bad. It's just strictly luck based and not any skill involved. So because of that, I would say we try and stick to cards that are skill based, that we have control over, and we don't have any control over this. This isn't one that I would personally recommend for kind of competitive play because again, it's random and we have no idea where we could end up. Next up we have is a common Lin, grants you 2 random dice cards. This is decent because it gives you some more options. Could be doubles, could be evens, odds, could get you a certain space that you need. It really gives you more versatility. So this is another one that can really help out new players, especially when you're just kind of trying to get into the grind of understanding the strategy behind the game and trying to set yourself up for movements ahead. That's what you really have to do in this game, is look at the dice cards that you have and try and plan ahead. Our last one we have is our common, and this allows you to look at the opponent's dice cards. Now, I've played against a few people who actually have this, and I don't necessarily like this on its own. However, I will say that you could do a really amazing combo and pair this common card up with Edward, which goes ahead and swaps your dice cards with your opponents. So what you would do is you would use those two. So I would use her first, look at my opponent's dice cards, and see if I want to go ahead and swap cards with them. But that is it. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.